Hello everybody, it's me Scoopin'. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania came out today, but I haven't actually seen it yet. So this is actually a bit of a preview. I do have a review in this video, don't worry. I just wanted to give some thoughts before I actually see the movie. We're about an hour away. I just felt like I had to because, like, this is the second lowest rated MCU movie ever, and that's kind of a big deal. Like, there are some bad MCU movies. We have the first two Thor movies. Eternals, I think, is the lowest rated. It's the first ever to get a rotten, at least, and Ant-Man is the second, and I fucking hated Eternals. So, if Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is anywhere near Eternals level, I might just shoot myself, because, like I said, that movie sucked, and I'm so excited for Quantumania. I mean, first of all, it's an Ant-Man movie. Like, I know for a lot of people it's like, oh, it's an Ant-Man movie. When did everyone get so excited about Ant-Man? I've always been Ant-Man's biggest defender. I have evidence with one of my friends that, like, 3 years ago, we did an MCU all movies ranked thing during COVID where we spent, like, 3 hours going over all of our picks, and I gave Ant-Man number 4. I think Ant-Man is a great MCU movie. So, the fact that his trilogy cap is going to be this bad when Peyton Reed, the fucking director himself, was like, I wanted to make an Avengers scale movie. If it's bad, I'm going to be really upset. But my expectations right now are I'm hoping for the best and prepared for the worst, because all the reviews have been so negative. Every normal MCU fanboy defender who says it's the best movie they've ever seen right when they come out and post on Twitter, even they're saying it's bad. So, like, yikes. So, yeah, to keep the ranting from going any longer, moral of the story, the trailers look so good. I'm so excited. I love Ant-Man. I love Paul Rudd. I love the Quantum Realm. This movie should be good. If it's bad, I will be very upset. Anyway, on to the actual review.
3 hours later.
Okay, so, mixed thoughts on that. I see why this movie has negative reviews. It actually does a pretty bad job of getting you to like it, which is pretty insane for a Paul Rudd movie, but its biggest problem is that the first hour is just really bland and really boring. It's like that Marvel movie where you just don't care about what's going on. It's not that funny, it's not that interesting, it's just bleh. I'm gonna try to do this spoiler-free because I want to, but it's too difficult to talk about why this movie doesn't quite work without spoiling it, so I'm going to give you a little bit of that non-spoiler review that I tend to do, keep it super brief, and then I'm going to get into the spoiler section, so just be wary for that. I'll give you a heads up. So yeah, like I said, first hour, really bland, really boring. You're just going to be sitting in the theater thinking to yourself like, wow, really? This is what we're going with? This is what we're doing here? Alright, why? But then it just, all of a sudden, we get this one scene that course corrects the entire movie so hard, and then we get exactly what we were promised in the trailers. We get this tense conflict between Kang and Ant-Man, where Kang, he's Kang the Conqueror, right? He's a crazy badass. Jonathan Majors absolutely killing it, which is phenomenal. Ant-Man, lovable, like, side hero, way out of his league, and you want to see him win, even though you know he probably can't. And then we course correct back, and we're back to that, like, first hour of just, really? Like, this is it? And then the final battle kind of starts to come to a bit of an end, and you're like, okay, yeah, no, this is getting pretty good. Like, okay, it's like a little bit above average from your standard Marvel affair. And then the ending, you're like, what? That's how we're ending things? Huh? The ending, there's no crazy cliffhanger or, like, unresolved, oh, I didn't see this coming, or anything like that. You're just, like, from a filmmaking perspective, the ending is just very weird and very unsatisfying, which is really upsetting because this is the third and presumably final Ant-Man movie. So overall, this movie contains some of the best and also some of the worst parts of the MCU. Like, when the action and the conflict is at its peak, this movie has that. When it's just bland and boring, this movie has that. And it's just really weird, but I think I know why, and we're going to talk about that in the spoiler section. So I would still recommend seeing it, especially if you're a Marvel fan. I think, seeing it on the big screen would be pretty nice. You don't have to be too wary about spoilers. I mean, the trailers showed you almost the entire movie already. Like, I'm not kidding. There's really not that much that this movie's hiding up its sleeve. I don't know. I would check it out. Feel free to stay for the spoiler section, whether or not you've seen it, because, like I said, spoilers don't really matter. If you are wary about it, feel free to click off this video. Thank you so much for watching. And anyway, spoiler time, baby. I was supposed to make a pun about it being spoiler time because Kang the Conqueror, but I forgot, so I just did it right there. Anyway, so this movie feels like a very first draft of a script for one specific reason. It's just very uncohesive. We get to the Quantum Realm within like 10 minutes, which I think is good because, I mean, you want to move the movie along. We already know where it's going, so we might as well get there faster. But once we're in the Quantum Realm, it almost seems like the movie forgot what it just showed off, that we know where this is going and it wants to speed things along, because we play the pronoun game for like almost an entire hour of every character just going, we have to watch out for him. he is coming. He is out there. He's too strong. We can't fight him. We know it's Kang. Can we speed this thing along, please? And before we get to the Quantum Realm, we just get this little setup of Scott, like, soaking up the limelight. He has his audio book, his regular book. He gets his free Caffey. Everyone on the street loves him. And Cassie, his daughter, is like, Dad, you're an Avenger. We get it. You're cool. You saved the world. But you should actually be out there helping the little guy, like you say in your own book, and making a difference. You're not really doing that. You're just soaking up the spotlight. And that's a pretty interesting arc to introduce for Scott's final movie, but we don't really go anywhere with that now, do we? So the first hour of this movie, once they get down to the Quantum Realm, it has this freedom fighter plotline where they end up with these, like, bandits, I guess, fighting against Kang, even though they don't say his name, they just say him. And so what's supposed to be going on is that Cassie is supposed to be, like, showing him, look at this. They're doing real shit. You gotta step up. You gotta help out. This is what being an Avenger is all about. We can't just focus on getting ourselves home. We have to help these people. But Scott doesn't end up helping them in the end. Cassie ends up helping them. So it doesn't even fucking matter. And on top of that, we don't care about these people, all right? It is Scott's final movie. It should be about him. Meanwhile, Hank and Janet and Hope are off fucking around in the Quantum Realm. Janet's aggressively playing the pronoun game. She won't explain anything, even though people are literally grabbing and shaking her like, tell us what is going on. What do you know about the Quantum Realm? And she's like, guys, I can't tell you. It's too dangerous. I just have to protect you. Not that bullshit, Marvel, please. So that first hour of the movie, really boring, like I keep saying over and over. But then Scott and Cassie get kidnapped, the freedom fighter camp gets attacked, and this is where the movie flips a switch and we get goated Marvel shit. All right, this is top tier, high ass quality content from Marvel. Okay, Kang the Conqueror. This is like all those clips in the trailer of Kang menacingly walking around. I'm a conqueror. Have I killed you before? If you're an Avenger, they all blend together. Like in the movie, this shit all goes so hard. It is phenomenal. This is what we want to see, but we only get like half an hour of it. Scott does his heist. His heist is pretty good. Like I said, it's just incredibly brief. Threatens him into making the deal, do the heist, and I'll let you go. And Scott's like, all right, what do you need me to do? And Kang literally opens the door. He's like, shrink in there, grab something, and get back out. Thank you very much. And he does that, and then he comes back out, and then we get into the final fight. Like it's a little anticlimactic. I would have liked a little bit more heisting, but that's all right. So then once the final battle begins, Scott and Cassie are separated because Scott's heist didn't go exactly according to plan, but it still, Kang ends up with the thing he needed, so, whatever. And then Cassie's stuck, like, in Kang's tower, so she sends a message to all the freedom fighters, guys, I know you're out there, we need you, come help us, we're gonna take down Kang. So then the freedom fighters show up, and then Kang just fucking evaporates, like half of them was a little wrist blastery doodly guy. But of course, when he hits Scott with the little wrist blaster evaporator, Scott's like, ow, I think that hurt me like a little bit there. That's one of my superhero pet peeves where the villain can fucking eviscerate people with like one little laser blast and then they do it to the hero and the hero just like, flops back. So yeah, the freedom fighters, they just get way too much time of this 2 hour, like this movie has a pretty tight runtime. You're not really going to be sitting there like checking your watch too much. You're just going to wish the first act was moving a little bit quicker. Like, I'm saying it's boring, but not boring in a way where you're like, oh, this is taking forever. It's boring in an uninteresting way, if that makes a little bit more sense. So, the fact that this movie's 2 hours and we get all these moments of the freedom fighters that are probably never going to show up again, let's be real here. Like, I don't care. So stop shoehorning them into this story and trying to make them seem really cool and important. They're just goofy comic relief characters I don't like.
That looks like broccoli.
That was weird.
So after the freedom fighters all fucking die, and Scott actually has a pretty cool, like, charge the building moment as Giant Ant-Man, which I really liked. They fight Kang, and then Kang gets stopped in one of the goofiest fucking things Marvel's ever pulled off. A centuries advanced species of ants that got shranken to the quantum realm with everybody else. Because time moves differently in the quantum realm, they show back up having centuries aged, and they help Hank and everyone take out Kang, which is, I don't fucking know. I hate Hank in this movie. He's just the ant guy, and it really bugs me. Fuck.
That looks like broccoli.
That was weird.
But then Scott actually gets into a fucking brawl with Kang. Both of their suits get destroyed. Everyone else is back home safe, and the portal out of the quantum realm is open. Scott and Kang, they're going at it. It's actually really intense. Like, it's pretty well done. It's not phenomenal. Marvel's done better, but they've certainly done a lot worse. It is very engaging, and I did like their little fist fight that they have. But Hope comes back in, helps them save the day, and then it seems like they're stuck in the quantum realm for a moment. Like, they have this moment where they just hug, and Scott's like, never let me go, and the portal's closed, and they look out, and all the freedom fighters and other civilians who rioted against Kang are like, yeah, we're free, we did it. And then the portal opens, and then they just leave again. It was a little goofy there again. Then we get one of the most baffling endings I think I've ever seen. Not from some sort of like story, like we end on a big cliffhanger, like I said. It's just really badly written, just pure filmmaking perspective. This is a terrible ending. So we get a redo of Scott's opening, like, narration, walk around town, being famous thing, where he suddenly stops and he's like, wait a minute. Kang said if I didn't help him escape, something even worse was going to come. So, like, is everyone going to die because of me? Did I do the right thing here? No, I'm sure it's fine. It's fine. Let's just go have a nice dinner with our family and appreciate the time that we have, because I've completed my character arc and I'm no longer mourning the missed time. I'm living in the moment. But wait a minute. What if Kang shows up and kills everybody? Do I have to worry about that? Is that going to be like a big deal? Nah, it's fine, right? And then the movie ends. It's truly baffling. So this ending encapsulates everything wrong with Quantumania. It is truly this movie's fatal flaw of how it's just this, like, it just this incohesive first draft of a script. This is the cap to Ant-Man's trilogy. Once again, no pun intended. I really gotta stop fucking doing that. So they really try to lean into Scott's relationship with Cassie, which makes sense. She's been his rock for his entire run in the MCU. Like, in the very first movie, the whole point is that Scott feels like he's missed too much time being in prison. Then he, goes to prison again after Civil War, so Ant-Man and the Wasp is about him feeling that he's missing even more time stuck under house arrest. And then he gets stuck in the quantum realm for 5 years, so post-Endgame and a little bit during Endgame, he's like, oh my god, I've just missed too much time with my daughter. This is horrendous. So the ending of the movie, right, it should be this, like, cathartic ending of him finally saying, it's not about the time I've missed. It's about the time we have with the people we love, and I'm going to cherish that time while we have it right now. But then, meanwhile, it's bogged down by this whole setup of, guys, get excited. Multiverse saga, Kang is coming, Kang Dynasty, Secret Wars. And it's just like, can we focus on Ant-Man in one movie? Please, guys. So you have this, like, tender, personal story of Ant-Man just trying to get more time with his daughter, bond with her, truly understand her, be her hero like he's always tried to be. But it's also Kang's big, intense, villainous intro that we need to get through, right? And both of these are pretty interesting on their own, but the movie is clearly far more interested in Kang because all the scenes with him are so good and all the scenes with Scott and Cassie are so not good. So clearly they wanted to have this freedom fighter plotline to keep Cassie plot relevant while Kang was around and not just have her be a plot device of, Scott needs to save his daughter, but his daughter isn't really a character. Fair enough. Good intentions. I like that. But it feels first drafty to me because it doesn't gel with the rest of the movie like I keep saying. What should have happened is because this is, like I keep saying, the cap to Ant-Man's trilogy, he needed to lose. But because this movie is shackled onto the really awkward foundations of the first Ant-Man movie and its really strange Ant-Man team dynamics, there's nothing for him to lose. He can't lose Janet because we just spent an entire movie getting her back, and so for the same reasons you can't lose Hank or Hope, because if you lose one of them, it feels like it defeats the whole purpose of getting Janet back, like the family is no longer united. You can't lose Cassie because she's the whole rock of the story, so I feel like you can't kill Cassie. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And also, Marvel would never kill a kid in a Marvel movie during a battle. Like, that just wouldn't happen anyway. So, whatever. So, I feel like Scott should have been the one who died. I mean, we have the line, I don't have to win, we just both have to lose. So, instead of the ending being, okay, now I've learned my lesson. Now we have all this time together to spend, and it's going to be wonderful. I'm going to stop mourning the time we've lost. It should be, it's not about the time we've lost. It's about the time we've spent together. Like, they have this moment right before Scott does the heist where it seems like it was almost taken from a rough draft of the moment I'm talking about where he would have sacrificed himself, and it was one of the best and most emotional moments of the movie where Scott's almost saying goodbye to her and telling her how proud he is, and it's great. Like, if they actually pulled this off as Scott's death scene, that shit would have had me sobbing in my seat. If you do that cliche, like, gray half opacity, like, flashback to some of their father-daughter moments together, like, that would have been phenomenal. And meanwhile, I don't think we need Ant-Man going forward. I love Ant-Man. I've been one of the Ant-Man OG fanboys. Like, he's one of my favorite MCU characters, but realistically, what is he doing going forward? Right now, he's just poised to take the same position he had in Endgame in Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, the quantum realm knowledgeable person. Because Loki is probably going to know more about Kang by the time we get there if we have an entire season of him hunting Kang down. So Scott's going to have to know about the quantum realm specifically. He already did that. Like, I feel like everyone knows about the quantum realm now, especially when Tony Stark was the one who invented the quantum realm technology and not Scott. Scott just was like, oh, guys, time works differently. What if we try that? And then Tony figured it out. Do we really need Ant-Man going forward? I would have much preferred we lose this amazing character in this movie and just gotten the best Ant-Man movie we could have gotten than just keep him around with this, what should be a happy ending, but it's kind of left ominous because it's like, Kang can come back and kill us anytime. In case that point wasn't clear, I have it written down a lot better. I'm essentially saying this movie's fatal flaw, like I keep saying, is that they had a choice. Scott could have sacrificed himself, and we could have gotten this beautiful, dark, and dramatic Ant-Man movie, which sounds kind of goofy to say, or we could have gotten a movie where he gets to ride off into the sunset and he finally gets his happily ever after and essentially like almost retires in a way to really finally spend time with his daughter and help the world in a real real way that isn't just punching bad guys in the face. But instead, we get this nothing ending where it's just, Kang is coming. Prepare yourself, Scott. Like, come on, guys. So I apologize if I've rambled a little bit. These Marvel videos are very difficult for me because you should be able to criticize the things you love without people calling you a hater or blah, 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 blah. And I truly love Marvel, and I think that's clear. So seeing a movie like this that I'm just so excited for, not doing so well because it just didn't get the love it deserved, really upsets me. And I think that kind of comes through with how, like, comical but also ranty this video has been. Hopefully comical and hopefully not too ranty, but you know what I'm saying. So, quick summary in case my points have not been clear enough on their own. It's just a very incohesive script. We have Scott and Cassie doing their weird freedom fighter thing, and then Scott gets pulled into a Kang the Conqueror like intro movie that goes crazy. We go back to the freedom fighter shit for like almost no reason, just to make sure Cassie's this well-developed character while we kind of push Ant-Man to the side a little bit. We got a pretty good showdown between Ant-Man and Kang, and then we end on a pretty dubious note that's very unsatisfying, especially considering it's the cap to the trilogy. So, what do I give this movie? 5.5? 6. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna give it a 6. Let's give it a 6. Below average, but not terrible. The Kang, the nougat middle part of this movie with Kang really saves it. I'm not lying. That shit is phenomenal. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate every like, every sub that I get, every view even. Thank you for 200 subscribers. It's been a few videos since then, but I'm still pretty jazzed about it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Keep it crispy.